Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is the third of 4 sessions of Spirit of 77, which is a powered by the apocalypse RPG, a tabletop RPG that it's inspired by the ideas and tropes of 70s action movies. And since it's called Spirit of 77, and I like Star Wars, which came out in 1970. Oh, thank you, Greg. And I like Star Wars, which came out in 1977. I thought, why not? It hasn't been a real square peg round hole. There are a few playbooks that I've shuffled off for this version, but pretty much running Spirit of 77 as written, except now we've added a montage move. I did not write it, so I think Mark D.S. Truman wrote it, and then we've just remixed it in. We are playing on this planet of Terrace. Sounds like Paris, spelled like Paris, but with a T. Originally appeared in Knights of the Old Republic video game. It is a city planet, not unlike Coruscant. But what's interesting about it is instead of Coruscant, which is like thousands, 5,000 levels, I think, this is pretty much 4 levels, but only 3 levels that are inhabited. There's lower terrace, middle terrace, and upper terrace. And if you think, wow, that sounds a lot like the class system as defined in America, you'd be right. As all of the folks who are non-humans will live often in lower terrace. Middle terrace is where our middle strata of strugglers, up-and-comers, and recent fallens have. And then the elite, the nobles, the imperials of any stripe, they can be found on upper terrace. Did I say imperials? Yes, I meant imperials. While we are playing post original trilogy, about a year after Emperor Palpatine died by falling into a huge hole in a Death Star that blew up. Therefore, he'll never be seen again. New Republic is on the rise, freeing the galaxy of the tyrannical last grasps of imperial clutches. However, there is a place, a sector of the galaxy known as Warlord Zinj's Empire, where a particular moth said, we kind of like it, us being in control. We're going to kind of keep that if that's cool with everybody. It, by the way, is not really cool with the New Republic. However, a planet like Terrace is still under the auspices of the Empire. And the story we've told so far is that it's a street level, kind of grimy story that's going on. Some potential conflict between a couple of large criminal organizations that are represented here in Terrace, and the Empire has been thwarted by you guys on a small scale level, running away from stormtroopers. It's not like 3 stormtroopers would give you guys any kind of trouble in the streets. You just take them out, no problem whatsoever. Brief pause for the 2 people who were in the game yesterday where 3 stormtroopers kicked my character's ass. No reaction whatsoever. Fine. I'll just remember that. I will remember that. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. I would like to save a little bit of time. I assume folks have been watching and watched the first 2 sessions. So if this is your first time, I apologize. I'm sure you can catch up as we go. We do have the characters' names on the YouTube, but if you're listening to the audio feed, go back, come to my YouTube channel. Let's jump in. So we start off. This is at the beginning. We hear some awesome music, very 70s style. We hear what one might call the red ball jet organ, or for short, just a red ball organ. What's that? That's what Max Rebo played, that cool kind of weird piano-y, round piano-y deal with a speaker coming out of it. It's totally dope. We hear that music kicking, and the camera opens up, opening shot. We see that we are at the Upper City Dueling Ring, which is under the control of former Hutt cartel capo Hajur the Hutt. And it's odd, right? That the dueling ring, which a retired Hutt cartel member is the space where an anniversary party is being held for the first year of Elisar Targon, who has joined the Black Sun. Now, on other planets, the Black Sun and the Hutt Cartel have been at each other's throats, fighting over different parts of the territory. Oh my God, I just saw the picture of Merca Tavro, and that makes me laugh a lot. So let me go away for us. If I keep staring at it, I'll keep staring at it. But the Black Sun and the Hutt Cartel have historically been at each other's throats. However, here it seems like there's at least some kind of brokered peace for now. Now, in last session, we do know that there was, there has been a slavery ring that folks are trying to take down, and one person was abducted, and Desiccus, with her clever sleuthing eyes and skills, found that the tags in the alleyway supposedly a cartel, but there was just something off about it. So as we come in, we hear this kicking music. There are a number of people dancing, and while Upper City is usually off limits to non-humans, more or less, the dueling ring seems to have greased the right palms, because there are cornucopia is a very cosmopolitan look. We see Corgan the Black, the Deveronian, the pair of horns that come slicked over. I kind of imagine him like an evil Pat Riley. I don't know why I'm making an LA Lakers reference that no one will get, but just he's got this deep red skin, and he always seems to be scowling, and he's surrounded by a number of lovely ladies, as well as his cousin, another Deveronian. Now, there's quite a bit of dimorphism, gender dimorphism in the Deveronians as defined in Star Wars. So the female Deveronians actually have like a light bit of fur. They often shave their horns. Their horns are usually like spots on the top of their forehead, and Elisar looks rather human, quite unlike her cousin Corgan the Black. She's got this big, huge, fruity drink that she's sipping, like one of those like swirly straws. She's sipping it, laughing, and she's chatting with a few of the girls who are here at Corgan the Black's big tables, one of those rounded kind of supper club type tables, and standing off to the side, speaking and watching, is Hedrissam, the major domo for Corgan the Black, as well as Arianya, an Umbaran who has allied herself with Elisar, and the two of them are watching warily across the rest of the party. Hajur is up on his floating palanquin, attended by Oleander, his favorite dancer. He is chatting lightly with Arani Argant, and Arani, one of the socialites of Upper City, who seems to have her fingers in a lot of pies. We notice that mixing around amid all the party goers, there are some members of the Hidden Becks, a swoop gang, who may be allied to the Black Sun. Perhaps they might be working with the Hutt cartel. They might be playing both sides against the middle. And then, after all of the establishing shot to give us an idea of the cast characters that are at play, Drew, tell us a little bit about the style of music that you have been playing, as you are the star attraction, the entertainment here.
Right. So I've been playing my regular style of music. However, it's a little bit more subdued. It's not as active as it normally is, because in the last session I had my hand smashed. So I've got two fingers taped together, and I think I'm playing the flu horn, and it's a little bit, it's not that it's stumbly, it's just a little bit slower as I compensate and play different notes because of that injury.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about your band here, because we haven't seen them. They're kind of your groupies in a way, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I've got three other members of the band, and think there's a little bit of like, what's her name? Elisar Targon is kind of a big fan, so she
Mm-hmm.
falls under the line of groupie. But the band members are a Sly Snoodles race, which is a Palawick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's the one with the big mouth proboscis. And then there's the guy who looks like a mole. His name is Gar. And then we have Mirka Travo, who is a Snivian, which is a snaggletooth. These are all people we've seen in the, cantina at on Star Wars.
Nice. And do you have like maybe at the Red Ball Jet organ that Tree is playing? Is there a big sign that in Arabesh says the Drew and the experience? Or do you have any kind of advertisement for your wonderful band?
Oh, I think it's a light show. I think
Ooh,
there's a
I like
light show
that.
that basically at some point, starts projecting on the side and maybe out in the middle of the air, Drew and the experience in Arabesh. Yeah.
And as we come into this scene, what does it seem is taking up most of Drew's attention? What is he most concerned about right now that we can tell?
Um, so right now I think he's focused on making sure that Elisar is enjoying herself. Um, and so he's kind of watching the crowd just to make sure that uh things are going well, if that
Hmm.
makes any sense. So he's kind of eyeing the crowd and getting a feel for what's going on.
Got it. Got it. Got it. And then the famed sleuth, Desiccus, Desiccus Hermit. Uh, where do we see her in this opening scene here? It's not quite a montage because we've got to move for that.
Yeah, I think we were talking about disguises because we had some heat on us.
Mm-hmm.
Did we want to go with that? Or
I think a disguise would be wonderful if you want one.
yeah, so I'll go with what we discussed last session instead of the yellow waistcoat and the and the purple jacket. She's got a yellow jacket and a purple waistcoat.
Oh, that's
And she's
right.
got
The colors palette swap.
yeah, and she's got the wide brimmed hat with like a veil that obviously anyone can see through, but it's a disguise, so it works.
It's
The
totally.
hat is purple, of course.
And what is she doing? Is she here kind of mixing with other people as if she belongs among them? Is she pretending to be a member of the servant crew, just hiding in the backgrounds? What do you think? Where is
Yeah, I
she when
think
we see
she's
her?
sitting in a booth where she has like a good view of what's going on. So that like Drew is watching from the stage and she's kind of off in a corner watching from a different direction, also keeping an eye on what's going on.
Oh, I see. I see. So Drew's watching most of the crew. Descus is watching the party, but also trying to keep an eye on Drew because he doesn't often keep an eye on himself.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
she's leaning back with a drink and death stick, I suppose. Death stick in a holder, of course.
Clever. I like that a lot. Fantastic. And then what about Mr. Gulster? I don't know if you're the kind of person to really blend into any crowd.
I think Mr. Gulster, helped with the load in, and he has, he was planning like Mr. Gulster, usually the life of the party, and he was planning on kind of mixing it up and trying to start conversations to lead somewhere, but Dots is looking for the money. Yeah, Dots, he's been pestering Mr. Gulster for the other half. Like, the HUD is here, Mr. Gulster owes him money. And so he has secreted himself back to like the loading dock for this place. And is staying close to the van. And if anyone asks him on the comms, it's because of it's a getaway plan.
I see. So
not
you're
because he needs money. And if he goes out there, Dots is going to hound him for it.
I see. Old Dots is gonna get what's owed if you aren't careful. Love it. And then last and certainly not least, sir, is the character that will exit this session and perhaps the story forever. Inez, the sword of Damocles invisibly over your head.
I mean, Inez is dressed up like Tagruda, a Tagruda dancer. Her brain tails are, hidden away in this ornate prosthetic that was made by one of her street level contacts last session. And is, I think dressed in a very elegant, like a robe thing, like clasped at the top, like almost like a Princess Leia style. At the start of A New Hope that she's wearing, but much more sheer and like 70s tackiness. And the whole idea is, of course, that underneath she is wearing her dancer's outfit and is ready to perform with Drew and the band come the time. So at the moment, she is just sort of standing around looking elegant, but much less kind of like she's more meek than she would be in a normal. She's putting on the more of the sort of like the old dancer girl routine of like just fluttering her eyes and looking pretty rather than actually, but secretly her eyes are probing across to try and work out any of the people, the movers and shakers here, because it feels very wrong to her that Black Sun and the cartel. When I was a member of the cartel, I would have killed everyone here just for simply breathing.
Wonderful. Well, let's start off with Inez. You are trying to scope out a scene, it seems like. Everybody's trying to scope out the scene, so maybe this answer will be shared across the group. But let's have you scope out, investigate the current scene here. Yeah, that sounds fun to me to kick things off, if that's cool with you.
Cool. I will be rolling on the Google Dice Roller because I'm on my work laptop and I cannot access the XYZ domain on that. But I will just roll it here, and you'll have to take me at my word, and I'm not cheating here. I know.
Might as well roll physical dice at that point. I mean, God.
Yeah, if I could find them. Yeah, but I'm in somebody else's house.
Wait, go look at the Yahtzee box or something.
If I knew where the Yahtzee box was, I rolled a 5. That's a 6. So that's a miss.
That is a miss. That is indeed a miss. Then go ahead.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
I have a black belt in crazy. If you want to consider that my music gives you advantage, is inspiring, then you can roll with something extra if you want. Oh no, that's just melee.
Fight.
I'm sorry. That's just
roll
fights.
to help somebody out.
Yeah, you can roll to help somebody out if you want. Or Descus could. You guys can be in calm contact. If Drew, Stephen, you mentioned it. So why don't you go ahead and roll to help out?
Okay.
Inez.
And I mean, Drew's like on the stage, right? Like setting up and everything at the moment, right? Like, so Inez is sort of nearby, right? And we're on the stage and kind of talking about things and pointing it out to each other. False smile fixed on Inez's face as she talks to Drew and says, sinister things like, back when I was a cartel member, this would have been the perfect opportunity to wipe out all of Black Sun in one fell swoop. We would have claimed the entire planet for our operations and made an example of what was left.
Drew starts to shake a little bit. It's like, oh, okay. Let's see what that looks like.
Did I ever tell you about the Dianoga on level 13-15? Most useful.
Oh. I don't even know what that thing is. And I got a 10. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. On a 10, on a hit, they have +1 on their roll. That pushes you to a 7. I have to actually remember the die result that you tell me, Will, and I'm gonna tell you that's hard. I would rather look at a screen. Anyway.
Yeah. It's a 7, so that gives me a hold of 1.
It does.
I would like to know. Oh, I know what I would like to know here is who's the most vulnerable person in the room, as in who is the weak link that we can go for here? You know, who is the person who we get them into that back room and we go like, you're all on your own now. There ain't no cartel or no Black Sun with you. They'll sell you out as easy as soon as you know, quicker than they buy you a hot meal. The only thing you can do is talk, punk, kind of thing.
Yeah. You catch sight of another Twi'lek, one of your own people, Vastadur of the Black Sun. You've heard that he fancies Dessicus, even apologized to her as he was beating her up. You think that if the right pressure was applied, he might roll on folks. He seems to be the weak link for the Black Sun.
Oh, well, you know, I guess the way that was helped out was I'm telling all these horrible stories about what the cartel would have done in this situation in the past if it was being run properly, like it was under Inez. And Drew goes, "Hey, wait, isn't that Vastor who beat up Dessica?" And then, you know, we look at him across the stage, and I lean back, and obviously inside the prosthesis around my brain tails is a comm unit, right? And I like move it up slightly to my mouth. Dessica, your lover boy is out there in the crowd. Maybe you can have a more open conversation if you know, without his bosses, with his eyes in a private room. I hear he has a thing for you.
Well, I sure have a thing for him, and I pat my vest where I have my holdout blaster.
Nice. I love it. So, Descus, are you going to make a move on Vastadur? Is that your plan? Or are you going to continue to observe on your own?
So.
Okay.
They've
closed off the dueling ring in the middle. It's closed off with this like plexiglass top, so you can still see the dueling ring. And also, if someone were to shoot this floor, you could fall into the dueling ring.
Of course.
I'm just saying. But people are dancing along that central area because normally this was, you know, an observation, a coliseum, as it were. But yeah, there's dancing, and he's like, there's a little bit of railing around because this is an Imperial standard, so they've got some guardrails, and he's one of those guys that's got his drink on the little guardrail, and he's on the dance floor, but he's not actively dancing with anyone. He's that weird hanger-on who can't quite commit, but wants to be near it. That's Vastadur right now. He's got a death stick because that makes him look cool.
Who was it who Gulster and Drew like impressed to get the gig here?
I think it was.
I think it was Vastadur. That was his chop shop, right?
Yeah. You
okay.
guys went into the chop shop and impressed Vastadur. He's a fan of Drew, a fan of Dessicus.
So he was like the flunky of the group who was assigned with like, you sort out the entertainment kind of thing with the for the
exactly.
evening. Yeah.
I don't know two ways of. It's just going to fall in my lap for this to work out. And then Drew walks in. Thank the Force.
Yeah, I think I'll sidle up to Vas and just exchange some words while we're both like looking out at the dance floor. And I'm trying to figure out what approach to take. But I think if like Inez comes at him from the other side, and we'd like to have a little conversation and make sure he knows that he doesn't have anywhere to go. Does that make sense?
So you're looking to tempt him? Because I think you've got the leverage of he's a fan.
Yeah, that's
as
true.
it were.
I could buy into that instead.
But you could also just, the two of you threaten him to get in his face. Those are two distinctly different moves with different results. So that's what want to check?
Let's start with the carrot and see where that gets us.
There we go.
I'll exchange a few words with him, and then I'll kind of like lift the veil a little bit so that he can see that it's me.
Oh, yeah. It's a thing where he answered a couple of your questions and seems really non-committal, but when you lift the veil and he glances over and gets a peek of who you are, it's just, oh, he's instantly turning to you and takes a big puff of his death stick. Let's see if you can get what you want. Go ahead and roll plus smooth, which is +1 for you.
Since I'm not in my usual fabulous outfit, I can't use soul instead, which is
So sad.
that's fine. I'm sure I won't roll like a 5 on the dice or anything. No, because I get a total of 4, so that's even worse.
Well, I'm looking at the dice, and that does appear to be a failure. Why don't you mark an XP?
Mhm.
And he looks at you for a moment as you ask him to come. What's the pitch? Like, what's the ultimate pitch that you land on? Like, come away with me, or just like, what is it?
I think I offer him a chance to make up for for beating me up the other day. Like, why don't you come with me, buy me a drink, and we can talk things out.
Cool. So he does go with you to the bar, buys you a drink, but then of course you're trying to get him alone, and that's a very public thing. So do you try to draw him off to a room, or maybe head to the turbo lift to head up to the roof? Where is the alone place? And of course you've prearranged this with any PC you want.
Yeah, the roof. I mean, the rooftop is a classical 70s location, so I think I'm trying to draw him up there.
Awesome. He says, "Yeah, I'll carry your drink." And he's got his little death stick sticking out of one finger. He's carrying both drinks. You guys get onto the turbo lift, and it's one of those, like, I'm imagining the style of turbo lift that moves relatively slow and is kind of open where you can see it, so it's almost presentational in the way. And you start to head up towards the roof. We cut to Mr. Gulster hanging out in the underground parking area, and there's lots of noises, speeders outside. How's Mr. Gulster been spending his time? Like, is he listening to a whole lot of music with a stuffed bear? Sorry, it's a Die Hard reference. Sorry.
Mr. Gulster is very surreptitiously recording all of their like credentials for all of the speeder bikes that are showing up. Right, these are all of the rides that the cartel and the Black Sun use. So getting all that information and having it is it's good to know. You can track these things.
Nice.
Work backwards.
You're working furiously on your data pad, tracking all of these bits of information when you hear a pair of speeder bikes come in. And Gulster, there's a particular whine to these things. They are speeder bikes, not swoops. And they both sound extremely uniform. You recognize them as Imperial speeder bikes before they even come around the bend into this level of the parking garage. And sure enough, you see a pair of scout bike troopers on the backs of them, and they are escorting this sleek Skylar black speeder. The sleek is like this beautiful jelly bean style. It's enclosed and the windows are all tinted, and it slides in near the door, and one of the scout bike troopers hops off of his speeder bike, leaving it just floating there, and he walks around and opens one of the doors, and you see someone step out of that sleek speeder. It is an Imperial, a very handsome Imperial officer who I will have to stick into the NPCs because this is the first time we've seen this individual. Would you know?
I mean, if they've been serving on the planet, unless they're brand new, probably.
I think, yeah, I think this person is not new. I think you know Commander Matos Pashel. And I will stick the name in our NPCs and places. Oh, I'm going to have to move down a little bit. I'm going to stick him on row 27. And Matos steps out. He is dressed in his Imperial uniform, but you get the feeling that he doesn't have enough people to be here as part of a raid. Oh, and the one you let out of jail. Oh, sorry. I was like, that's right. That's right. Because Vasudor is the person that you let out of jail. So he gets out, and then out of the front of the speeder are a pair of death troopers that get out and just slide in behind him as if they're two bodyguards. And then the last person to get out of the speeder, who evidently was in the back with Commander Matos Pashel, is none other than your ex-partner, Care Boom Boom, Terrace Authority.
Well, I was going to try to disguise myself, but I guess there's no point now. Careful, boom. Mr. Gulster will find a conveniently placed pillar.
Yeah,
that
there's
he
totally
might, that he might fit behind, and start to whisper into the comlink. Imperials are here. Imperials are here.
You need to get in close and find out what their involvement is, Goldstar.
It's complicated.
Life is complicated, Goldstar. It only ends one way.
Mr. Golster straightens out his costume a little bit. The door! No, not the door. Boom!
And Kurt turns a little bit, has to stutter step because Matos is walking with the two death troopers, and Matos was going to continue walking. The commander does as Kerr stops. They're headed to this turbo lift to take them into the dueling room. You see that Kerr is very, like, he walks with his hands clasped behind his back, and Kerr looks at you. What do you want?
I want to say hello.
He glances back at the Imperials like he does not want to stick around. Okay, you've done it. And then he turns to try to walk away. What do you do?
Wow. Forget about the old times, boom boom. What brings you two here? Huh?
Imperial business.
Always business with this one, right? And he gestures at the other Imperial officer. And he like shakes Boom Boom a little bit. Always looking for a raise. Always looking for a promotion.
Yeah, and I don't have you to hold me back anymore.
I taught him everything he knows.
And you see that Matos has entered the turbo lift. He's turned, and one of the death troopers is like holding the door as if they're waiting. And
too kind, too kind. And Mr. Coaster gets in the turbo lift with them.
Bam Boom just he does that, like, oh God, this is the worst. And he slides in after you. The doors slide closed, and you start to head up into the dueling ring. We cut away, and Drew, as you're playing, Nez is there, the two of you scoping the place out. A Chiss, who you've recognized, she's played at the dueling ring before. She's pretty good with Xantha. She comes over and says, Drew, I'm so happy that you got this gig. So very happy.
Yeah. I mean, maybe on the next, maybe on the next set you can sit in on the, with the band. That'd be great. We could
Oh,
use some of your
absolutely.
playing. Yeah.
And she extends her hand like, yeah, for sure. That's great that we're. What do you do?
And I think he's still playing, right? And he just
Right,
kind of nods
okay.
at her like, yeah, uh-huh.
Cool. Her little obvious ploy to try to get you to shake hands is of course not going to work. You're playing the thing. So one of the other members of your band, because they're groupies, right? So I would imagine that maybe Gartras says something rude about her getting out of the way, and she scowls at him, and then she moves away. But Inez, you see that she's got a little something, like it's sort of like a round disc type thing. She moves to the side, and Drew's paying more attention, and she just plants it. Not on Drew, but like near Drew, near his little set, like plants it and drops it there. You have to notice that, Inez, before she slides away.
I will, go over and pick it up, of course.
Oh, well. Yeah, when you do, you see that it's magnetized and stuck to the deck plates, and it very much looks like an explosive device. What do you do?
Well, I take it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
And it was one of the groupies who did that.
No, I don't think Sim is a groupie.
No. It was Sim Segwat, who is a Xantha player.
Yeah,
She's just known around here for playing, she's kind of a regular player here.
She's the house. She's part of the house band, and very jealous that Drew is playing this gig at her place, and evidently thinks that blowing him up is a good answer to that.
Yeah. I think I will obviously just take it because I don't want her to blow up Drew. And would I need to do anything to make sure that it couldn't be set to explode?
That seems like it would be a smart thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'd prefer to do actually is to who nearby do I think is maybe somebody I dislike a lot?
There are probably a lot of people here you dislike a lot, Inez.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they outnumber the ones that you are neutral or positive towards.
Yeah. You know what? Is Hajur here on his floating?
Of course he is.
Yeah. Then I would like to dance over to Hajur and do a little like sort of like bow to him, and then drape myself over his hover sled, slipping the device underneath his sled as I do so.
Oh. I think you're trying to act despite imminent danger, as when you move close, everyone is watching, and Hajur looks at you as you are being obsequious towards him, and he doesn't trust you. He knows why you're here. He knows.
Oh, he doesn't know that I'm an Inez though, because I'm wearing a disguise.
Oh, that's true.
It'd be pointless for me to come as Inez, wouldn't it? I wouldn't be a dancer. I would be public enemy number one essentially here. So
all right, I forgot that you're in disguise. Apologies. So he probably looks at you, and Oleander, She seems a little threatened by your presence, perhaps. But let's see if you can keep your cool as you try to pull this off.
I'd either say charm and social grace is smooth, or hustle in terms of like grace and whatever the dance, right? Which would you think is more appropriate, Rich?
I think right now social graces is more important than
Smooth
anything.
then.
So smooth.
Smooth. I will. Ooh. That's a 5. I'm rolling terribly today.
Nice.
Is there anything I can do with that? No.
There's plenty I can do with it.
Yeah, there is loads you can do with it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so that's what happens.
Nice.
That's what happens whenever you decide to just randomly do some bullshit with the exploded device that someone's slipped into your hands. Because I'll be honest, couldn't possibly think of a thing to do otherwise than just throw it in a bin somewhere, which didn't seem very interesting.
This is way more fun. So you move in, you bow down. Oh, are there a couple things that you say to Hajur as he turns his massive head to look down at you?
Great and powerful Hajur, I'm so glad that you have deigned to have my have the great Drew play here. You know, like truly this is a sight of wonders.
And we see as Inez just slides like on the palanquin, you slide and click, the little thing starts to blink red. And as you start to slip away, Inez, from behind, there is a cyborg who grabs you and holds your shoulders as Hajur says,
You think we don't recognize the beautiful Inez? Oh, darling, no Togruta could meet your particular look. Your eyes give you away, darling. Stay here. I keep my word, and I will not have you killed. But I can't trust you to walk around. You cause too much trouble. So stay here with Oleander. Enjoy the show.
And Inez will simply shrug and then lean over and grab a glass of drink off one of the passing waiters and say, well, fine then, darling, and rip off the headdress.
nice. And Oleander, it's the one person who didn't recognize Inez. So there's a moment which could have, okay.
Now leaning close to Oleander and say, Wild Thing says hello.
She looks down. Oh, yes. We cut away to the turbo lift coming up onto the roof. And it's beautiful. The sun is still setting off in the distance, casting beautiful orange rays across the tops of terrace. And you see all these rounded buildings in terrace. It's quite lovely. Vastador's walking with you. He hands you the drink back now that the turbo lift isn't moving, and moves over towards the edge of the roof. And you see all these speeders just zipping back and forth, all the lights starting to come on a number of the buildings as the dusk comes. He says, again, I'm real sorry about before, Smiley. She was a certain way. It's hard to say no to her,
Oh, I understand. We all have someone who tells us what to do, right?
Yeah. Takes a
Well,
sip,
not me, of course, but
puts the glass down on the edge. There's like, it's like a meter tops, that little edge of the roof. He puts his glass down, leans over a little bit, looks down. Kind of nice to be this high up, look down on everybody, right? Just imagine you're in charge.
I don't have any interest in being in charge over anyone other than myself. And I think Desica's she's leaning against the like the barrier, but with her back outwards. She's looking in towards the roof. Still smoking her death stick in the holder.
And you could tell Desica's, maybe it's just a preternatural sense about people that you have as a sleuth. You can tell that something's bothering Vostadur. And he's trying to work his way up to something.
Well, I'd like to help him on the way. So, I think I'll pick up my drink and take a sip, and yeah. So if you really were in charge, what would you do?
If I were in charge, I think, it'd just be nice to be up here. This is the dueling ring. That's it. It's the only place in Upper City that my kind can go unless we're servants.
True, but if you were in charge, you could change that, right?
Yeah. I don't know though. Black Sun, Hut Cartel. It's a lot. Just because you maybe take down one and then there's the other, fill in the space, You were at the alley, right?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
You were at the alley. I heard. Looking into that kidnapping.
Yeah, girls gotta eat.
Smiley said, stop looking into things. She said that. That's why she, that's why she had me hit you and stuff.
Yes, well, Smiley's your boss, not my boss.
She said you'd say something like that. Okay. I'm sorry. And then he rushes forward to try to grab you and throw you over the side.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Ooh, I mean, it's not a complete surprise, but I mean, I don't want to kill him before he can get something out of him. So I figure
This is a perfect moment for a swear to me moment over the side of the thing, right? Like
If you roll well.
I think what I want to do is like step aside, grab him, and push him over the edge so that I'm just holding him there.
Ooh,
It's
nice.
Like if I let go, he's going to fall. That's what I want to do. I don't know what to roll.
I think that's getting in someone's face. Like, well, let's just jump straight to it. It's not a two-step
sure.
thing. You're just getting in his face. So you're trying to get someone to act through violence or the threat of violence. So roll plus might.
Yeah. Oof, that's the worst. But yeah, I asked for it, I guess.
Awesome. So mark an XP.
So that's a 6 after my -1.
Nice.
So that's bad.
So the two of you start to tussle. And is Deska like slippery in this moment? Or because she does get him like slightly over the side. Is she slippery? Does she have surprising amount of muscle? How is it that she's able to finagle? Oh,
I've just
Greg?
kind of in a weird retcon kind of way. Is there any way for Mr. Gulster to aid? Because this is the perp. This is the perp that we worked a case together.
Yeah,
true.
you can have told me like, yeah, he always leads with his right or something like that.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah, his right knee ain't been the same ever since that guy shivved him in the cell block.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they wait. I mean, it's kind of just fictionally positioned for they go way back.
I like
but
it.
we worked together to bring down Vastadur, and then I let him go. All right. What do I roll plus?
So help somebody out. You roll plus hooks. I believe you have one hook.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So you roll plus 1.
Okay.
I will tell you that if you roll poorly, this will go bad. Okay.
It's an 8.
Yeah. All right. So on a 7 to 9, you also exposed yourself to danger, have to pay a cost. Oh man, what kind of cost would that be? Yeah, there is no way of improving hooks. It is not. It's not the best. It's not the best approach.
But that is a hit. So they do get
It is a hit. Yeah. So it's a +1. It does push to 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So we'll have to think about expose yourself to danger, have to pay a cost. I think you're already pretty exposed to danger. So I'm okay with the amount of danger you're exposed to. If you get any more exposed, this goes from like PG-13 to hard R. So, and really don't want to see Mr. Gulster that exposed. I'm just saying, I don't. No judgment, but not my thing. So then a 7 to 9, they choose one. Get the hell out of the way, barricade themselves, secure, give you something they think you want, back away slowly, tell you what you want to know, what they think you want to hear. So the last second the two of you are struggling, and there's something Mr. Gulster told you about his knee, and maybe you kind of shove into it and it weakens him for a second. Boom, you've got him like pushed slightly over the side. You could let go and he would fall to his death. You see the fear in his eyes. He's like, I'm sorry. Smiley she said to do it. What? I didn't want to.
You tell me what's going on in here with the cartel and Black Sun, and I'll let you go on this side.
Nice. He says, Smiley's trying to find out. There's somebody in the sun that's trying to frame us, like start a war.
So that's why are you all playing nice then?
Because the imps have already told us all. If we start anything, they'll finish it. You've seen the Star Destroyers, right? We gotta play down in the middle and the lower. We get any trouble going up and upper, the imps, they'll squash us both.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that checks out. You don't you don't go throwing me over any other banisters, okay? And I kind of shake him a little bit, and then I step back, pull him back enough that he doesn't fall over the edge.
Mhm.
But as I step back, I pull out my holdout blaster and I like back away towards the turbolift.
The
And
turbolift is coming up, like as you're backing away. The turbolift is
Ooh,
coming up.
excellent.
Just so we're clear, this is I've described them differently. They are 2 turbolifts. The imps are not going to show up here, just so we're clear.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone else will.
Yeah.
So we cut back. Drew, you're playing some music. You see that Inez has been grabbed and shoved. Now she's evidently sitting with Oleander right by Hajur the hut. Doesn't look like she's moving anywhere, and Inez is revealed as Renez. She doesn't look like a Togruta anymore. She's removed that weird headdress.
So I'm not sure there's a whole lot I can do, and it's not time for me to pop anything open, to expose anyone or start things getting really bad. The best thing I can think of, I think I look over and I look at Inez, make eye contact, and I'm like, I think I speed up the tempo of the music a little bit to see if she's interested in showing off her dancing skills. That might get her a little bit more active around. What do you think?
I think I can't dance anywhere because I've been seized by the cartels and they're keeping an eye on me. So I think I don't see a fictionally, no matter how good Drew is, Hajur letting me go from literally right by him without some sort of confrontation, right?
I mean,
that was a hard move against me. Was that I was
Okay.
under eye and thingy, unless
So I think we see
incite people to a riot or whatever, right? But I think we need to have a quick chat about what are our goals here as a group, because I feel like we're sort of getting into the space where we each end up doing separately tasks that don't actually contribute to our overall scheme of things. Because I remember like we were talking about Drew's groupies being a good way for Drew to kind of like get the lay of the land and the scuttlebutt and the rumors and everything, right? Like,
yep,
you've got a group of people you can send out into the crowd to like dance next to narco lieutenants as they loudly go, yeah, and I says to him, you got to pay me 5,000 credits for that, or I ain't coming back for the other day, like, oh gee, you're so strong, like that kind of thing.
So in that case, I think Drew speeds up the tempo of the music a little bit and looks over at Inez, and I think Inez kind of shakes her head a little bit, like, can't be done. I'm like, okay, and I think that's whenever we hit a finale, and I'm going to we're going to take a little bit of a break. We switch on, maybe the house band comes on to play a little bit, and then I'm gonna step down and head over towards the bar, and then nod at the rest of the band. And I think they're going to take off into the crowd to start mingling a little bit and, get them all excited and be like, oh, yeah, what do you want to hear next? And, so let's see what the groupie move sounds like.
Rockers
See, I
tend to
roll
gather groups
smooth.
of dedicated fans. Groupies count as a gang, and you roll plus smooth when you want to get something done.
Yeah. And I think this is basically just gather information and see what kind of good stuff we can find out. And they are useless in the fight.
Don't just drink yourself, like go get some drinks, mingle. The success depends on how much they also do what you asked them to beyond the like just the free bar, basically.
That's right.
I can't hear you, boss. It's been so loud.
Oh, so that's a 7. So they ask for a favor in return.
Oof. What do these groupies want? A gang of a couple of guys, 1 to 5 members. And you're thinking you just sent your band out to.
Yeah, and I think that there's probably a few other pieces of, there might be regulars that,
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to play like you've been playing like some chill and some deep track stuff. They
Mhm.
want to play like your big hits, right? They want to bring the vibe up, but that's gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be really hard with your hand.
Your hand. Oh, you've been
Yeah.
playing it easy, and that's what the favor they ask of you. I love that. That is fantastic.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds great.
Cool. Okay.
Oh,
So
I think what I described was they're like, oh, do you have any songs you want to hear? I think they come back with all of the big hit songs. They're like, oh yeah, of course we have to play that. That's a big one. And I'm like, okay, guys. Yeah.
they want you to play the Dantooine Depth Charge, which is like crazy because you have the solo in the middle with your horn that very few people can pull off. Cool. So that sounds wonderful. I think we'll take an actual break in just a moment, but I want to jump back to our Imperial turbo lift with Mr. Gulster. So, Mr. Gulster, you impulsively invited yourself onto this ride. There are two death troopers, those in the sleek black armor who actually hit things that they shoot. One's got a scatter gun. The other has a pair of pistols, blaster pistols that look quite nice. You're not sure if this commander has any weapons on him. He just has his authority, it seems. And Kerr says, this is an ex-partner of mine. He's an idiot.
Sometimes yes, but not always. Not always. Kerr here. When we were down in the lower city one day. Oh, he goes into this spice shop and he thinks it's a food spice. Oh, this curry, it comes out, his face is covered in spice. Like, I'm telling embarrassing stories about our limited time together. And I'm trying to get a rise out of Kerbaboom.
Nice. Gosh, that seems like you're trying to get what you want then. You're trying to manipulate them.
Yeah, or
And
I'm
the leverage is your
trying
embarrassing
to-
stories.
I don't know. Am I giving someone the third degree?
Ooh, scrutinize a person's response while interacting with them.
I mean,
Interesting.
their interactions could be that Kerr's just remaining silent and getting redder and redder in the face.
One of the death troopers chuckles like this is some funny stuff.
See, Kerr and I. What was it? Oh, I bring him this roasted pork, and I tell the chef, make it extra spicy, make it Deveronian spicy, right? And I tell Kerr, no, it is mild, and he takes a bite, and his nose, I have not seen such snot come out of a rancor.
Wow, that is quite a story. Let's go ahead and have you give him the third degree then. Roll with brains, which, if I remember correctly, Mr. Gulster's brains is
plus
a one. Yeah.
And I'm rolling with the local authorities, so I'm rolling with something extra.
Oh, that's true. So 3d6 plus 1. Pick the best two.
That
Good
is
thing.
It's an 11.
Well, 11. All right. So with an 11, you hold 3. I imagine like this, you got through a couple stories. This is a turbo lift. So it opens up and you guys are walking into the party. There's a guy who would check and it's imps. He doesn't even they don't pay a cover. They don't check their IDs. Yeah. They check IDs and they're walking into the party. And now you're going to the party. The dots is here. But yeah, go ahead and ask your first question.
What do you intend to do? And I think this is more, Mr. Gulster just has a really good knack for reading what people are doing.
He's trying to trade up. Yeah. He's frustrated with his capabilities and What
I
did he
guess
do
I'm
in
trying to
Terrace
ask like the
Authority?
imps in general. What are they
What are they
intending?
trying
What
to do?
what do they intend to do? Yeah.
Yeah, they. How do you get?
I mean,
there?
if Curb Boom Boom is trying to join the cartel, is that what you were leaning towards?
Yeah. Well, so first of all, I think you rolled with something extra because you're dealing with the local authorities. The local
Right.
authorities being terrorist authorities. So I think let's angle that question towards Kerr, but we can also indirectly get some stuff about the imps. Kerr is here because he's trying to curry favor with the imps. Like he's sold them on this idea of you need to come to this party. There's a lot of stuff happening. You definitely want to see what's up.
Okay.
He does not want you telling embarrassing stories about him when he's being a heroic cop helping out the Imperials for the greater good.
And okay. How could I get Kerr to give me what the local authority knows about this slave ring?
Ooh.
And I think that's another story, right? I'm subtly sliding in something about another slave ring we broke up.
Mm-hmm. I think the best way to get Kerr at this point is to reverse course and make him look good in front of these Imperials.
Okay. Tell a good story. Okay. The other two don't really work because he hasn't said much. I know what he wants me to do. He wants me to go away.
Yeah, he wants you to go away.
Okay.
But you don't have to waste that question. Like, I think you got how could I get you? You could double up on that one, maybe, but is he telling the truth? Yeah, you get the vibe that he got a tip that hey, the the Black Sun and the Hut Cartel are in the same place. That seems like trouble.
Okay.
Cool. Do we want to take our mid-game break here and then come back? Let's do that. And we're back. Drew, you've sent your groupies out to try to get the skinny on what's going on. You rolled a mixed success, which means that they have a request of you. They want, as soon as you guys come back from break, for you to hit the Dantooine Death Charge, one of the really lively songs you're known for that you know. Playing it on the horn is going to hurt. It's going to hurt, and you're going to have to keep your cool or you're going to look like a fool, brother. And as you're looking out, making sure that none of your groupies cause any trouble, you see none other than Mr. Gulster, who was keeping track of the getaway van for some reason, but he's decided to come into the joint, and he's not alone. It's not boys in white who are with him, but they are Imperials. It's a couple of death troopers walk in with an Imperial commander. And most everything going on in this place is some kinds of illegal. There are tables where folks have just poured spice out in the middle and cut lines. There's some like brief nudity often shots, so we definitely have that PG-13 rating. And as people see that the Imperials are here, they are starting to get out. Not everyone's running and panicking because they know that's what draws their attention, but they are nervous, kind of like a gunfighter walking into a new Western town. Folks are trying to be out of the way, stay out of the path. And we'll pick up with Mr. Gulster because you had asked those questions. You know what Bim Boom wants. And he'd be willing to help you if you do that. But then, you could also just let him swing here. Also, Gulster, you notice that Inez is up there with Hajur. You follow the gaze of Commander Pichel. You don't see Descus anywhere.
But this bamboo man, oh, he is still the best partner I ever had. Shoot. I lack a story at this particular juncture.
Man,
I tell a good story.
You tell a
I
good
know.
story. Okay.
I know. Oh, thank God.
But he doesn't have my
Oh,
connections, you know.
Well, I'm
like,
trying
you
to,
don't want
I'm trying to loop in like the whole slavery thing. I think at this point, no, I tell a blatantly untrue but very aggrandizing story about Ben Boom. This guy, he had my back. He had my back, and I got shot. I got shot right here, and like Gulster goes to like raise, you know how it looks when you get shot, and and it's all these people around here. Bam boom. He has their number. He knows. And so yeah, I'm telling some aggrandizing story, and then like I get really close to Bam Boom and go, and I need to know. I need to know where the non-human slaves are going. But it is your party. Oh, no, it is not your party. You just come to a party. You're like me. And then I'm going to like look over and see if Dots is anywhere near the hut.
Ooh, yeah, Dots is right by the hut. He's got his hand near his little blaster pistol. He's fingering the little snap there and watching the front. He's made you, Gulster. He knows you're here. You see that little proboscis of his pops down in a bit of a frown and that multifaceted pair of eyes.
But Inez might have the money.
So Commander Pichelle, he hears what you have to say, and then he says, well, I'm sure the two of you have much to catch up on. I have someone to speak to. And he just walks away. He's headed towards Krogan the Black.
And Krogan the Black is the Black Sun?
Korgan the Black. Who's the head of the Black Sun. He's a Black Sun overlord here on Terrace. He's also the person, his cousin is Elisar. He's the one throwing this party. He's the one who arranged with Hajur to make this happen. And it looks like the commander is headed that way. You gave Bim Boom a bit of what he wants. And, oh, cool, we have a picture of a Fluhorn. I just now saw that. Cool. You gave him what he wants, and he looks at you. He pulls you aside. You're way bigger than him, but he pulls you aside, like, grabs your vest. He says, listen, there's nothing you can do about that. Okay? Okay? You need to let that go. You'll be fine. I'll make sure of it.
But boom, you and I used to be on the right side of the law. We used to bring these scumbags in, and he's like gesturing towards everyone in the room. What happened to you? What happened to you?
I read the room. Sure, these guys are all scumbags, but they're all taking down people and lower.
No, when the room turns against you, you stay where you are.
I don't know what the imps are doing with those folks, but they're all trouble anyway.
And then Gulster just like spits on the ground, and when Gulster spits, it's a lot.
It's a lot of spit. It's like a camel spit.
Yeah.
It's like what you saw sprayed on Conan's chest in Conan the Barbarian. Ugh, it's a lot.
You still owe me. You still owe me 100 credits. And this might be a debt that Mr. Gulster is making up, but he really needs that money.
He looks around, and I think he's going to pull out, like, he says, this will have to do. And he hands you 50 credits. He says, we're square. Now, keep your nose clean and stay away from the imps. They're the only ones that matter.
My nose. My nose clean? Your
heard
nose, your nose smells like a womp rat then. And then that's when Gulster leaves him.
So we cut back to the roof where poor Vostadur is breathing heavy as he nearly died. And Dessicus, you were heading out of here, cruising, no problem whatsoever. You are in charge. Then the turbolift comes up and you see the pair of dreads, see the hard eyes, you see the mask of Smiley, that wicked smile of hers. You know she's here to kill you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot first.
Nice. Don't worry, in future editions of this game, Smiley will shoot first so that you're not terrible. But for right now, you're taking the first shot. So let's have you blast him. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, is that hustle? Yeah. Ooh, so that's a +1 instead of a -1. That's gonna be better.
Hold
A
on. What are you
7.
doing? Oh, a 7? Choose one. You have to move to get a clear shot, exposing someone, probably you, to danger. You have to take what you can get. Deal. Does it say deal 1 harm, or is that deal -1 harm? Because it sounds like they stole it from.
It's
Dungeon
deal
World.
1 harm as far as I can tell. So I guess it's 1 harm instead of doing harm, like exchanging harm or doing the harm of
It's
the.
1 harm damage. I swear that looks like a typo, but it's what it says on the actual PDF too. Okay, so you're just doing 1 harm,
Yeah,
or
I'll
you've
choose
got
that.
exposure. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry. Which one did you choose? Because it's mixed. Are you taking the clear shot or the have
No,
to move?
I take just deal 1 harm, and probably that's not going to be anything because armor or something.
Yeah.
But I hear the turbolift ding. I whip around. I see Smiley. I just fire off a shot and duck around the corner.
Cool. There aren't a whole lot of corners up here on the roof, but we'll say that you're.
I mean, the
On the
elevator
way.
comes up somewhere.
Yeah,
So
elevator comes up. There's definitely, you can get out of that line of fire as she steps out onto the roof, and we hear the slight jingle as if she were wearing spurs, but she's not. But we've established in Star Wars that you can have a jingle sound like you have spurs, even if you don't wear spurs. And we see her look around like there's a camera behind, like over the back thing. As she looks around, she's got her big blaster. It's kind of a scatter gun thing, sawed off, and she's going to try to hunt you down, Descus. And Vostadur says, "Hey, I didn't tell her anything. I didn't tell her anything." And you're hiding behind maybe like an industrial air conditioner unit or something like that. And Vostadur is he's praying for his life, and then he falls. And we will cut back to
That was a Wilhelm scream moment.
Oh, you're right. There we go. Thank you for fulfilling that promise. Trying to always get one in. I appreciate that. We cut back to the party. The Death Troopers are escorting this Imperial commander to speak with Korgan the Black. Inez, you spot this. Hajur seems unsurprised by the Imperial arrival.
I mean, that tracks everything that we know. You know, but the fact that the Imperials are here and that it's not, I think it's more that the Imperials are fine with being here than Hajur is fine with the Imperials being here, right? Like, that's the only revelation there, because the Hajur would be worried if it was a raid squad, but not bothered if it was just some muckety muck, right? Getting his hands dirty. He'd be overjoyed by that.
Indeed.
I am gonna lean into to Oleander. And I'm hoping to invoke my power to the people. When you interact with regular folks, roll with something extra if you have any heat.
You've got
I'm gonna
heat.
Yep. And I'm just going to say to her, you know, it's terrible what they've been doing to people like us, our people.
Nice.
And, you know, I think I'm going to, what is it called? Get what I want, or maybe give someone the 3rd degree.
Ooh, okay. Well, they're two very different things. Get what
Yeah.
you want is like trying to get someone to do a thing. Get someone 30 degree is trying to get information out of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Oleander being Hajur's favorite possession, right?
Mhm.
Probably knows a hell of a lot more about things than Hajur, for example, would ever know that she knows us, right? And I see this as the way that I can leverage where I am into a, you know, secrets, because Hajur is not going to tell me, and I've got no leverage over him. So I roll with brains
Yeah.
and I
3rd
roll
degree,
with,
and you're rolling with something extra because of power to the people.
oh, finally, that's a 10 plus on the dice. The
Oh,
first non-mixed or missed result.
The dice have decided that you'll
Yeah.
get something. All right, cool. So with a 10 plus, you get to hold 3. Oh my goodness, all
Okay.
these answers unfolding.
And I will ask, how could I get you to? How could I get Oleander to tell Inez about, you know, this deal that Hajur has got, and you know, who's ultimately the player behind all of it? It's clearly profiting everybody, but like, who's behind all of this?
Oleander's no fool, and you're at the proverbial, but not actual, because he's a slug, feet of Hajur. She'd have to be a little high to do something that dumb. So you're going to have to free your mind with some pharmaceutical assistance alongside her before she would spill. But then she sing like a canary.
Okay.
I
I have
mostly want to see
+3.
a high Inez, and no one's tried to free their mind. So that's why
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
getting
yeah. No, that
13.
sounds good to me. Well, you know what? I think that doing that is going to cover off, are you telling the truth? It covers off what you intend to do and what do you want me to do. So I don't think I have anything left to spend that hold on with that answer. So
Damn. Okay.
should I just, you know, as I say this, I click my fingers over at one of the assembled, like, you know, servants and everything, right? Who's holding a little box on a tray, maybe.
Oh, like
and
like one of those little baby treasure chest type deals. They open it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, and that's the party favors for everybody at this
Of course.
salubrious party, of course, right? And maybe with like a questioning look at one of the other servants, as in like, should I be serving this person who's clearly
Well, am I serving a servant? Wait, can I do that?
yeah. And
But
then they just
Oleander,
shrug.
she nods like, yeah. Do that. And
Hmm,
the two of you partake in
some
some
spice.
spice. Awesome. Free your mind. And when you relax through meditation or pharmaceutical assistance and open up your mind to the force or to contemplate the current situation, ask the DJ a question and roll plus soul.
Okay. Can I argue that I'm still dealing with the regular folk? I'm getting high with one of the regular folks. So
Sure.
something extra still applies. Good, because I have
Yeah.
a -1 in soul.
Oh
It seemed like
my.
a dump stat for the vigilante. That's perfect. It's a 10 now. That was only I didn't even need the something extra, but there
Oh.
we go. It's 11 on the dice and then a -1, so 10. So ask the DJ a question as you know, like we take the spice and I say, oh, not as good as what we had on 1313. And smile, big hand, you know, big toothy smile, and like dilated pupils and everything, and then link arms with Oleander and like start to, this reminds me of my dancing days, Oleander. And then like whispering it in close as we're sort of slow dancing in front of the
Nice.
stage.
Oh, and Ajur is trying to pay attention to the Imperials, but now his favorite and also Inez, his possible mortal enemy, the two of them are dancing together. This is just right up his alley. So he is paying attention to the two of you. And Oleander, she's affected by the drugs. It loosens her judgment to where she would tell you. And again, you're asking her about this. Are you, just so I'm clear, because there are a few things going on, and I want to make sure the answer you get is the one you're after. Is it about the slave ring? Is it about the Hut cartel and Black Sun deal?
The slave, because the Hook Cartel Black Sun deal is the slave ring, right? You know
Yes,
what I
and
mean?
yes and no, but yes, I get you. I get what you're saying.
The aspect that we're investigating is the slave ring, right? And
Yes,
the
okay.
Black Cartel are cooperating over the slave ring, so that's
Mhm.
their income. It'd be like it's a spice, right? Like whichever one we were asked after, we don't. It may be a deal that covers all their criminal activity. The core of their criminal activity is the one that we're looking at, right? So the slave ring, we're looking for people involved in it. We're trying to right that wrong, bring justice to the streets of Taris. So,
And Oleander says, well, it's not like I'm under threat. They're only taking your kind, but you're right. Isn't good.
people like Wild think.
Oh, that gets her. Her eyes water up a little bit. She says, no, they wouldn't. They would. Listen, the imps have some. They're taking them as slaves, doing something. It's like they want all kinds of different species, running experiments, shipping them off world. Hajur's washed his hands of it, but he knows the cartel's working with Black Sun. They're supplying them to keep the Empire looking the other way.
So
Seems to be working great for everybody, but
the imps get their people. Black Sun and the cartel get to work, carry on their other operations in total, with all this, with no consequence.
yeah,
Very profitable all round.
except for the people. Like
Where are
Wild
they
Thing.
taking? Where are they taking them?
They're taking them to Sereno. It's where Zinj is.
I'm happy to I feel like I got quite a lot of exposition there. I think that I'd be pushing for the where on Taris are these people taken to, before they go off world kind of stuff. Unless
Sure.
the plan is for us to
Yeah.
fly to Sereno and do it.
No,
there,
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, she gives you like there's a spaceport. It's a
Hangar.
middle terrace. Yeah. Hangar Bay 42 kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. And I think that's probably a good point for Inez to just give Oleander like a big hug and a squeeze and a spin around, and then bow before Hajur as
Awesome.
the end of the thing, and then like look up at try and make eye contact with someone and be like, I've got the details we need, but what now?
Cool.
Kind of thing.
So before you as you're hugging Oleander, the spice kicks in and you get a vision, like you can see a particular fellow Twi'lek. You see Tags. She's in chains in a chain gang, like being led onto a huge automated freighter, and they're all like clinking in all of the chains, and that it's there. It's on the spaceport that she just named the hangar. It's about to leave.
Gotta get out of here fast then.
So we cut to Drew as you had asked your groupies to go out, and we'll say that Gartros, your clustered drummer, he comes back to you as you guys are starting to come back from the break before he goes and sits down behind his rig. He says, Drew, man, seems like things are about to break. Cartel, Black Sun, they've been playing footsie with each other for a while, dig? But somebody in the Sun, they're trying to stir it up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, are they trying to get their way? Is the Sun trying to get their way, or are they trying to just cause a big fight?
So I hear that they're trying to take down Corgan and using the cartel to do it. Somebody in the Black Sun's doing it. Maybe it's that girl that likes you. Right? She'd be next in line, right?
It's her birthday today, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man. You feel me? Yeah. Can't trust women, you know? Can't trust them. He throws in a little bit of misogyny, you know, because 70s.
70s.
Yeah. It's like, I like this guy. Now misogyny. Damn it. Okay.
I think I look over and I see Inez, kind of nod, and I'm like, okay, let's. So do I feel like there's anything else to figure out from this, from this place? I think we know Inez says she's got the goods. We know that there's something going down with the Black Sun. Might be time to get out of here.
Oh man, you're gonna let out before you do what the band wanted you to do. You know,
I don't
this
think so.
Break their heart.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get up and we're gonna start playing, but it's gonna be, exit music, so that just to know, let everyone know it's gonna be a little bit faster, but just to let everyone know.
Oh, it's
hey,
the song.
really
It's the
time to-
cue. They all know that when Drew plays this song,
Yeah,
you guys have got to get out.
it's the finale. Yeah, that's right.
Is there a long like solo moment from one of the other bands where Drew could sort of like slip off backstage while they carry on the big momentum, you know?
Oh yeah, clustered drum solo from Gartros.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. So Gulster, you see that you just got 50 credits. It's not enough. Dots is making his way over. Drew plays the notes that tell you, oh, it's time to get out of here. You hear this huge clustered drum solo as Drew's trying to sneak away. You know, Inez is still possibly stuck, but it's Inez. So
Inez
maybe
will
not.
be fine. Well, so I think I might be close enough to Inez. And they're all on drugs now, right? And so
See,
as
like a little bit of
these-
white powder outside the
right.
gigantic nostril of Hajur.
So yeah, I think Mr. Gulster like makes his way, like as the song begins to play and it's like incredibly funky, right? Gulster comes over and very like knows everyone in the cartel, right? Just getting very close, and like takes some spice and throws it over his shoulder, and then presses his slug thrower into Inez's hand.
Ooh,
Well,
keep your cool to. Oh, sorry. Do you have
I was going to say, it occurs to me that we can get whatever gear we like, right? So there's no reason that you couldn't have a holdout blaster to give me, because I feel like your slug thrower is very much Mr. Gulster's distinct signature
Yeah, don't give
weapon.
up.
You know what I mean? I I appreciate you handing me the big toy, Greg, but I feel like you know,
Okay.
editorially, they never let anyone else have a.
If you want to
Whistler's
ramp it up a little bit, you could hand them. You could slip some bad guy's gun off and hand it to Inez.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's even better.
Oh, keep your cool. I want to
Keep
see
my
that
cool
happen.
to do all the above. All right.
all the
with one of
above.
your 6 hands, right? You got
Yeah,
6
right,
hands,
right.
So like it's like one of them
4.
pickpocketing at the same time as.
Yeah. Keep my cool at smooth, or I guess that's the okay. So
Well, you get to define it.
Oh yeah, charm and social graces. I mean,
Sorry.
that's how I've approached the situation.
It's true. It's true.
Ah, my friend. You know, I'm hugging the cartel member. Oh, who am I hugging? It's not Dots. Oh yeah, it's a Monson Agon, the duelist, right? I know that he's strapped with a million different things. Agon! And that's rolling +2. Oh, I have lost connection to the game server. Please refresh the page. Does anybody else
Just a
see my roll?
click. Let me see.
It happens all the time.
Okay.
It looks like a 2d6 + 2 of 7.
2d6 + 2 of 7. Okay.
Yeah, 4
I will
on 4 and
refresh.
1 of 5 and 2 + 2 is 7. So
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll
on a
there's
hit you do it on a
That's
7
fine.
to 9. There's also a complication.
Yeah. So I grab one of his many blasters. Ah, my old friend, and I is like reach behind and I put it into like Inez's like back, right? Like it's my old friend. This is my favorite song. I gotta go.
And I don't think that, you know, cinematically, the Nez is always dancing in a way that you can't see one of her hands for the next few seconds, you know?
Nice.
What's the complication there? Does he notice this?
Oh, you everything.
Yeah.
Hajur doesn't notice this. You successfully secreted Inez some weapons. You come down from the platform area and walk straight into Dots, who has a blaster aimed right at you. You need 100 credits, he says. He's like, $2, but but not. That's another 80s movie. I need to run Spirit of 80s. So anyway, obviously.
You cut away from Ghoster. Yeah, okay.
Desiccus, you are being hounded by a duelist of ill repute. She wants to kill you. You probably don't want to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
I
firing
gotta
wildly.
But this is, I mean, I live for the thrill, and this is exciting. So I think, trying to think of a plan where I don't have to lean on might, because that's going to go very badly. But it's also difficult because I have my dinky holdout blaster, and she's got armor and stuff. So I think I'll just go with what I was thinking of, because there's like, I guess there's this little, I don't know what you call it, built up thing for the elevator, or turbo lift, sorry. And I ducked around the corner, and I think what I'm going to do, yeah. Let's go with the most cinematic thing, because we've already had people go over the edge, so we can do that some more, I guess.
Okay.
So I'm going to like sneak around. We're going to be like chasing each other and stalking each other around this little building. And then at the right moment, I rush out and tackle her towards the edge to take away the advantage of her having a big gun and armor.
Oh, it seems like you're going to trade blows with an enemy in melee. Right? You jump in, her blaster goes off as you grab her. You guys are against the edge. See all these speeders beneath you. the yawning chasm, the top of the Upper City dueling ring, the seed. Roll plus might, which by the way I think is -1.
It is. Yeah, that's what I
This
was
is
trying to figure
great.
out something
So
smarter
great.
to do, but
You
this
kept
is so
framing
fun.
it towards the thing, and then yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't come up with anything more clever. But that's an 8. The dice are at least somewhat on my side.
Well, that's good. Okay, 7 to 9. Deal your damage or choose one. That is so weird. So deal your damage or choose one. Deal great harm. Like why would? It's fine. Disarm your opponent.
Yeah.
Bind, hold, or otherwise disable your opponent. Take something your opponent's holding or wearing, or put something on them. Avoid any counterattack by your opponent.
I guess it's hold my opponent is the closest to like tackling her towards the edge.
Hmm.
So she's going to deal -1 harm.
Okay.
Be- be-
All right.
be-
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, her attempt. Oh my goodness, you're still hurt. We should have healed you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You did get healed 1, but
Mhm.
that's all. Sweet. I think that you hold her so she doesn't get off the blaster, but she'll headbutt you for 1 harm. But it's -1 harm. So then is there a take
okay.
a hit, a big hit? I think there's take a hit. Yeah, so it's you're hitting combat, you shrug off the damage, roll plus might.
So I'm taking 1 harm and then rolling, or
Well, no, it was -1 harm because of your option. So it's
Oh,
0
okay,
harm,
okay,
but go ahead
okay.
and roll take a hit.
take a hit, and that's my.
Yeah.
That's an 8 again.
Okay. On take a hit, on a 7 to 9, you take half the harm, minimum 1, but it's 0 harm. Or you take no harm and the DJ picks 1. I'm going to pick one of these. That's really what I'm after. You drop what you're holding, have to pick up something else. Someone else you care about takes the hit. There's nobody else up here who does, or you're knocked down. Yeah, I think what happens is she headbutts you. You're stunned for a second. You don't fall over the side because that would be a terrible, mean thing of me to do. Oh, wait, yeah, you fall over the side. And she goes with you because that's what happens. There's a moment where you're dazed, and you both go over the side. Maybe it's the thing where she tries to push you over, you grab hold of her jacket, or maybe the face mask, right? And it pulls her along. Yeah, and the two of you are falling down. Well, Van strategically positioned. I was thinking along the lines of like you guys slam into a speeder, the speeder, bam, you guys both slam into the back seat, and it buoys for a second, and we look over to the names and species helper and randomly choose that it is a Clatuinian, one of the dog-faced men who's driving the speeder. It's like a speeder truck, so he crashed through the back there, and he's like, what? I don't take any passengers. And she's going to try to beat on you, and you guys are in a fight. She's trying to shove you outside of the speeder. We cut back inside as Drew, Inez, Gulster, you guys are trying to get your way out of the party. I'm curious, Drew, we said that you were declaring go time and trying to set up the cluster drums solo so you can lit out. As you start to sneak out, you run right into Elisar. She's waiting at the wings for you. Drew, baby, you've been playing so good.
You want to hear me play good? Here, let me play you a private solo.
Yeah, you don't even have to roll. She's all about that. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Come on.
And we'll head out like down a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I'm gonna try and slip her.
You mean give her the slip? You're trying to
give her
get
the
away
slip.
from her?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Let's see. I think that's keeping your cool, right? Trying to work under pressure.
Yeah, I think that's right. And that's going to be probably with hustle.
I'm just
I'm gonna
declaring
go-
opening. If you get a 7 to 9, she put a tracker on you.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
Yeah. Just so you know.
Yep. I got a 7. Yeah.
So what is the excuse that you give her to slip away? Because she's trying to pull you into an embrace. She wants to make out with you.
Yeah.
She's amazed by you. You guys are heading down like a service hallway or something, heads to a turbo lift that the customers don't know about.
Yeah, I think she kind of grabs a hold of my hand and pulls me close. And that's whenever I kind of wince and go, oh, and I kind of hold up my hand and those fingers are bandaged. And I get her sympathy that way. And then I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. I got to see somebody about this. I got to go tape these back up. And I'm going to start to head off. And I don't notice as she slips that tracker. Yeah.
Yep. We
Into
see
my
like
pocket.
a little blinking red thing that's been dropped into your pocket.
Yeah.
And yeah, you head down the turbo lift and you're out of there. We cut to Inez. You've been slipped a blaster. You're not sure if you planted that bomb or not.
Well, I think this is when the Dantooine death charge, right? Like the band's doing it in a stead, and the music's getting really loud. And this is the moment where I think we have the 70s style split screen, right, of Mr. Gulster with his like thing, and then it's cut in, and then it cuts over to Drew walking, down the thing, and Desica like on the rooftop, and then it all in tandem together, and as the music reaches up, spins around and swoops that blaster around and takes aim at where she left behind that little metal disc on the hover sled, and I'm going to shoot that and try and create a big enough distraction explosion that in the chaos should be able to make a break for the parking lot. Perhaps it'll blow a hole in like the roof or something, like or the hover sled, maybe the hover sled will actually, the explosion will send the hover sled like careening through the crowd, like in haywire, and we can chase behind it.
Sweet. That's insane. I love it.
Yeah. But that's solving a problem with my blaster, I think.
Is it? It
I mean, I'm
seems
shooting
like
something with my
seems like
blaster.
you're solving a problem with your blaster. Yeah.
Overcoming an obstacle, the obstacle being the entire room full of gangsters.
Yeah. There's a part of me that was like, are we making a montage here? Because you set up a montage.
Should we do a
Let's do it.
montage with the 3 people? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, with
So
the
that's
3
my
people.
I think
do a
that's
main talk.
Inez's. That's the part of Inez's. So is the plan for us 2, right, Mr. Gulster? That's who's left here in the montage. Who else needs to be part of the montage?
Drew is still in the location. I think we need to
building.
get to the van.
Yeah.
And we need to get after Desicus.
Yes, I think it's chaos, like everything thrown into chaos, everybody meeting up at the van as like, cheese it, basically, right? And get out of here. And like we're racing to get somewhere, as well as loads of people coming after us when they all start to work out what's going on. So let me have a look, remind myself of the
movie
plan.
I think you proposed the plan. So
yeah. And I think it's about taking violent, dangerous, destructive action, to be perfectly honest.
Totally. So it'll be might.
Is the plan supported by plenty of resources and people? I don't think it is.
I don't think so, no.
I think it's some, but I think versus the scale that we're talking about, it's not much at all. Are we basing the plan on accurate current information? I think
we are, because Desicus would have been like, I'm in a speeder, come get me. And right. So
we've worked out a lot of this scene, and like we've seen it, we've been within we've noticed each other as we go around the room.
For sure.
Is there significant opposition? Yes. So that cancels that out. Is there significant dissent about what plan to follow? No, I don't think so. I think that we're on a +1 overall.
I think so. That feels right. And let's see. Yep. There we go. Cool. Rolling might is +1 from your might, so +2. Rolling your physical dice
is a 7.
Oh, That's right. You don't have physical dice. You didn't do Google
No.
Think 7. Okay. As I look at the move, the brand new move. On a hit, you each narrate a scene in a montage as your plans go off smoothly. On a 7 to 9, some part of your plan encounters unexpected difficulties. Narrate a scene, and the GM can say where it all goes wrong. So I just basically have a thing
a
going
veto,
wrong,
I guess,
a wrinkle.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's that one was a bit that I was just like made up instantly on the spot, right? Because none of the ones from Bounty of the Week seem to
How
really
dare
fit
you
the
make
77
things up in
montage.
this game? You need hard and fast rules that don't
but-
all make sense. Come on, this is Spirit of 77. Anyway,
Well, that's my part of the montage. Is as the Dantooine death charge like suddenly hits up is when that blaster comes out and she shoots at that explosive device, right? And then it's boom, just as the drummer goes.
yeah, sweet. So what is Gulster's?
Yeah, and
montage look like?
in the split screen of the movie, also with that explosion, Mr. Gulster goes, "Dots, here's half," and then with the Duracrete knuckles, "Here's the other half," and boom to the face.
Goes to dynamite.
And then Mr. Gulster is making a break for the hole in the wall that Inez has made, and the fuzzy bantha is pulling up to the opening.
Sweet.
And he's probably shouting, "Drew, we gotta go!"
And Drew, you'd gotten into like a turbo list. So what is your? I know you weren't exactly part of the montage, but I still want to see in the montage.
Yeah.
What is,
So I think that I get out of the
or is
I
Drew on? Is Drew driving?
Yeah,
the
are you Drew? Are you driving the fuzzy bantha?
oh yeah, I
Is
think
that-
that's perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're driving the bantha, and I think what is my? But wait, you didn't notice this. Yeah, I'm gonna plot armor Hajur the hut. That's my. The explosion goes off, but Hajur the hut had rolled himself to safety. He rolled over top of one of his guards, so that guy got a little squished.
I was imagining Hajur, like, if the hover sled, flies off, right? Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't a huge explosion; it was a small one, and it just sort of like, and he's like, "Woo!" Like little arms flailing around as
Yeah.
it punches through some sort of like internal wall and crash,
Yeah,
American style wall.
I'm very
Yeah.
happy with the escape as you guys laid
Yeah.
it out. Blasters flying. I just wanted to
But-
plot armor some Hajur because Hajur dying on that seems ignominious for him.
I,
So
I think would it be fair to say one of the complications might be that we're going to be taking fire as we make our escape out of here,
Yeah.
right? Like some
What about-
people shooting from the side.
What about at some point, we see Hajor flailing, and he slams a button on his hollow sled, which pops up like everybody's kind of, tablets go off with a wanted sign with our pictures on it, right?
everybody gets their heat increased by 1.
Oh,
There
okay.
we go.
That
There
is a
we
great
go.
that is a great
Yes.
70s thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring me the head of the Warriors. I mean,
So I need to talk to you guys. You need to really color coordinate and wear the same costumes. If you want to be a gang, it's the 70s, okay?
I mean, what's our theme here, boss? What's my motivation? Yeah.
What's that theme? It's good. It's good. Sweet. I love it. Yeah, you guys are being fired upon. Heat increase for everybody, which is great because that gives me some delicious stuff to do in our last session. You've made your way out of the party, gathered the information. I think with the time that we have remaining, I'd love to have a rescue of Desicus group all together again type thing. So Desicus, let's see if you can deliver a beatdown here because she wants to deliver a beatdown to you.
Yeah, okay. Another -1. It's a 9.
Nice.
So beat down.
Yeah, I love that. The just to narrate what's in chat, the fuzzy bantha is ping-ponging us way down the street behind Desicus. And Clatuini is like, hey, I was just don't break that. And just like crunching glass and all these crates smashing.
Yeah, I think we're in back of this speeder and we're fighting and we fall off this speeder and into another one. And I take a punch from her in order to like grab, I guess there aren't seat belts in Star Wars, but something equivalent, and just tangle her in it. Because I see the fuzzy bantha coming. So I just tangle her long enough that I can jump out and onto the fuzzy bantha.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So you're binding, holding, or otherwise disabling your opponent.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
So you're going to take one harm. You're going to take one harm because of the fight. She also took harm. You didn't avoid her damage, but you're taking -1 harm, and she doesn't have her blaster, so that 1 harm becomes 0 harm. But I'd like to see you keep your cool to jump from one speeder to another, because if you fall, that would be bad.
As a brief piece of flavor, I think Mr. Golster's windows on the Fuzzy Bantha are the kind you have to crank. Even though it's Star Wars, cranking it down. Come on, Jessica.
So I think this is getting out of the way or acting fast, right?
Yeah, totally. Roll plus hustle.
+1, and now I'm going to fail. No, it's a 13.
What?
Oh, wow.
Oh, so describe to us the amazingness of Desica's escaping this other speeder to get onto the Fuzzy Bantha.
Yeah, I tangle her in the crash harness, as the suggestion was in chat. And this is when I whip off the hat, which has miraculously stayed on the whole time. I throw it in her face, and then I leap off this speeder. And since Mr. Gouster has cranked down the window, and I think this is on the passenger side, so I leap down. I land with my feet on like the with my feet on the window, like in the opening. And this is when Smiley gets up. She entangles herself. So I like wave at her before I kind of like jump in through the window into the
nice. And we leave her behind to hate on you and show up as a hard move later. This is perfect.
Yeah.
I am a fan of this. Sweet. So what I'd like to do just with the remaining time, because often our stars and wishes go a little long and I've got to go help someone move. So I'm going to make space for Will to carve out an epilogue for Inez here.
Cool. I was just thinking we've escaped in the Fuzzy Bantha, right? We're all together, but like Tags is in that hangar right now. We're luring out a window maybe to rescue her here. And I was thinking of like, we drive straight there, right? Tool up, and it's, your standard sleazy 70s like dockyard style spaceport, right? Like hangars and like lots of rows of things and grubby looking people around and people looking the other way. And I was thinking that like we have to find Hangar 42. So like we get out the car, we split up, Inez, slips away into what turns out to be Hangar 42 and sees the freighter going, and then shoots away past the guards. And then like while the rest of you are coming, I think that like swarms more of like cartel Black Sun people come, and there's a huge like explosion from the hangar, and then you just see that freighter lifting off, the one that Inez went to stop, right? And then you just don't see Inez. What happened to Inez during that fight, kind of thing. There's too many of them. It's Chinatown. It's Taris Kid.
Nice.
Does that work for everyone as a sort of like the last shot of Inez was her opening fire on like a big group of things looking in a very bad spot, basically.
I like it. It feels very bad mother to me. Good.
And who knows what happens to either Tags or Inez, right? Like,
who knows? They don't get the plot armor like Ajur does. So we go with the ceremonial group of the columns. which is what I do to hide BCs where the players are not there. Okay, sorry. A little character keeper dorkiness. Sweet. Let's.
Does that
do-
epilogue leave you guys enough to carry on with for like your last session of like busting this thing wide open? Yeah, I didn't want it to close off anything, you know.
Yeah, I think we've because the it's still happening, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we've got stuff to do.
Cool.
Yeah. And yeah, we will find out. This is more of a note for future GM Rich. We find out that party did devolve into a bit of chaos with the shootout that took place as you guys escaped. Some people thought they had an opportunity to do something else. So let's see. I don't think there are any in-session stuff. if I'm
Yeah, I
not
think
correct.
we ask about our
Yeah,
buzz and
Oh,
our
hooks.
connection.
Yeah, our hooks and our buzz. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Cool. I'm going to start from the right-hand side of the character keeper, heading towards the left. Mr. Golster.
Criminals get away with too much, and our goal is to stop them. I think I worked towards that more than I did last session.
Yeah, take
my
it
speech with Ben Boom,
for sure. That was for 100%
and
fulfilling
then
that. Yeah.
I did roll with the history for Desiccus.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 2 XP then.
That is 2 XP.
So close.
Is it? Like, is it
5
you
XP.
want 5 XP? How much you need? You got 5 and you need 7, or
It's not clear how much XP I need.
I think
to
you
level
need
up.
6. I think it's level +1. Or I'm sorry, 5 plus whatever level you are. So I think you need 6 to.
might be in other rules. Sorry, I don't have it memorized. Yeah, no, it's not in other rules. Let's say 5 plus.
I'll look
other-
it up. Keep
plus-
going.
Okay. Cool. Let's make our way to the left. Inez, did you hit your buzz?
Yes, I think I did.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, payback. You got to score a settle, and someone's going to pay with blood. I think shooting my way out of the last 2 scenes is paying in blood. But yeah, so that's the one. And I think the hooks played with
You-
Drew Thal in the past.
Kid has talent.
Kid has got talent.
All right.
So I would level up if I was here.
If only you were, but you're not. I mean, you're here. You're
Yeah.
here right now.
I'll increase an attribute because it's a quick thing to do.
There we go. Drew, did you hit your buzz?
Adventure, I think so. Seek
Yeah.
out new experiences. And then
Yeah.
hooks. Let me go look at
Yeah.
hooks.
Did you uphold at least one hook or possibly resolve one?
So I think Inez helped me pull off my next big gig, right? So
Hmm.
yeah. And I don't think what I copied into chat worked. Huh. Okay.
Oh, what did you copy in the chat?
Oh, the advancement stuff that I saw in the rules.
Equal to your bunch of boxes.
Yeah.
Sorry. That looks funny. So
It does. It's weird. Yeah. I'm copying it out of the PDF and it just
Yeah, they've used some weird
Yep.
thing. It's all good. Cool. Then last we end with Desiccus. Did you hit your buzz?
Definitely thrills.
Yeah. And then hooks.
Maybe Mr. Galster. They let someone go on a case we worked together. We used that for the for kicking Val's knee.
Yeah, I like it. Cool. 2 XP. Let's-
At 7. So I guess I need to take an advance for next time.
Reach the last page of my. I'm going to turn over and write on the back. We start with wishes, so we can end with stars. Will, if you have any wishes, that's on you. I mean, really, that's your problem. Sorry, you'll have to fulfill your own wish, figuratively, or something. Wait, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go there anymore. Let's go. Who's got wishes? for our last session.
I would like, I mean, we kind of teed up a chase at the end, and then we did an exposition of it, which I'm a-okay with. I just want to do another chase. I think we had that in the previous session too.
I'd like a big scene with, or I guess all three of us then together.
Group scene. Okay.
Maybe a big shootout. Right.
All right. I mean, there was a big shootout, but you guys weren't exactly involved in it, so that is not a fulfillment of that wish. So let's do
Or
it.
brawl or
Even
something like that.
who can't? Who doesn't want more?
But
More.
it seems
tying in
very
with-
tropey. Yeah.
Yeah. Tying in with that, I did, because I realized that I do need to take an additional move at the top of the session. I took I Won't Abandon You, which is defending innocent bystanders, which I think Mr. Golsard would do. And I'm looking forward to doing that. So
I have to admit, a lot of these moves, while seemingly swingy, have a lot of really good names. Like I Won't Abandon You, and I heard you were dead, and yeah.
Yes, I would strongly agree. There's some excellent move names. There are excellent notions for these moves. The follow through is the only part that can become a little challenging.
Yep.
That's okay. We'll live with it. Cool. Any other wishes, or are we going to move to stars? Okay. Ooh. Well, Stephen, it seems like you went last with wish you get to go first with stars.
So, I guess stars, again, it felt like very much like a 70s TV show. Everybody leaned into that, the, basically the band playing at the disco and the shootout between the three different gangs and all that kind of stuff. Actually, two gangs and the cops. I mean, it just kind of rolled right into it. It was like, oh yeah, okay. So that was all great, and I like the fist fight up above. I like Mr. Golster's, gregarious personality, and I guess this is a wish. I'd like to see more of Inez. I'd like to see Inez, if possible, in the last session. That would be great to see it. Yeah.
Okay. Not sure how to do that.
Oh no, but it's not something you could do. It's just, yeah, it would be nice.
Oh,
But I'm really happy with the whole, off screen. We don't know if Inez save tags or not. That fit very well. Yeah.
You could totally, if you wanted to pull it off, Rich, just be like, doof, steps out of the shadows, right? Like proper cheesy 70s style. Like, I heard you were dead. There's even a move named after it, right? Like,
it's true. We heard you were dead. You're not dead. Cool. Thank you, Stephen. Undish, did you have any stars?
Yeah, I really liked the split screen thing. That was really cool. And Mr. Galster lifting a blaster to hand to NS. That was
good.
cool as well. And the whole banter thing with Galster in the garage and the turbo lift, like telling all these stories. That was really fun.
I love that he had great stories to make fun of his partner, but when he was challenged with the thing that the guy did right, didn't happen.
Yeah, and it was fun to see a bit of Drew's groupies, his fans. That was cool to get them into play, to kind of play up that Drew is a big deal, because in the group is a bit of a dork, kind of. but he actually is. He's probably the one of us who's got the best life, off screen, I think. Yeah, good send off for NS.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see where she pops up next.
Thank you, Undish. And Greg.
I mean, stars to Will for the excellent send off for Inez. I liked that. And I liked that Inez got the bomb and was immediately like, I'm just gonna kill the hut. Yeah, that was fun. I'm enjoying that Mr. Golster has the sweet ride, but he is never the one actually driving the sweet ride. It's
Oh, that's an
fun
interesting
little-
trope.
Yeah, it's an interesting trope. Like it's his car, but Drew is the one who grabbed it and brought it back up. And in the previous session, Desiccus was the one who was driving in the chase. So I'm enjoying that. I'd like to play with that more. And then yeah, I loved Desiccus's I'm wearing a different hat. That's very 70s disguise. Like I'm wearing a slightly different outfit. Now nobody knows who I am.
It's and what's great is that that's also a Star Wars trope. But like, I just pull up my hood. It's fine.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then yeah, Drew's band was a blast. I liked the moment at the end, particularly when what's her name? LSR came up and was like, "Ah, this is amazing." Like we actually delivered on a really good party right up until the end, guys.
It did.
So
Did such a great job.
Right until the shooting started, it was a great party. So
Awesome. Well, I will allow you, if you had any stars that weren't used up, you can.
Yeah.
But you don't have to.
Okay. Right. I will say I really enjoyed playing Spirit 77. It was a lot of fun. I've loved all of the cheese and the framing and the imagining the funk soundtrack that goes with it all. And yeah, it's been great. The spice bit, I was definitely imagining like all the colors getting like the strobe effects on and the sort of like the reverb and the kind of like everything being turned up on the brightness a little bit too much. Yeah, and I when you say about Drew's dorkiness, I really like that sort of aspect of him as like this just amazing musician with all of this buzz around him. But you are playing him as that sort of like from a small humble origins kind of thing, and quite like I like that bashfulness almost about it.
And I imagine he's also in my head canon he's very naive, so he doesn't know about all these gang stuffs going on, and he's like, oh yeah, that one guy hates this other guy, that's fine, and doesn't realize the firepower involved, and
Yeah,
I'll pull the van around, it'll be fine.
yeah, that's not cool, man. Like and Greg, here's the other half. That was a great pun. That was perfect. And
That
Desica
was.
brawling on a rooftop as well was very gumshoe, like noirish kind of. And then like the boss showing up and killing her mook, killing her own man, was even more. And then throwing off the roof and landing on a speeder and carrying on the fight was even better.
I was like, oh man, it's not fair to throw him, but I have to. There's a thing I must answer it.
Mm.
I'm glad that you guys are okay with it.
Yeah, that was great. I love that.
Sweet.
I was fully
imagining
prepared to like us just be falling and having to do something to so it was nice. It was kind of you to just have us land on a speeder.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Star Wars, right? Like, there's always a speeder,
Yeah.
but like imagining it because we're imagining the sort of like episode 1 bit with episode 2 bit with Anakin chasing down the shapeshifter, right? But imagine it as like a 70s movie, right? With the 70s, all the available technology of the 70s. So the camera angle shots and the background things and the landing on a speeder that's basically just like definitely on a lot somewhere, rocking backwards and forwards.
Well, thanks for the split shot. Like, there's a part of me that wants to go back and add 70s cinematic moves.
I was thinking the montage move should just be called the split screen moment move, right? Like that's I don't know.
Great.
Because in film you use the split screen when you want to tell about, I don't know, maybe there's two moves here. Split screen is when you want to tell about a number of actions happening simultaneously. And then a montage is when you want to show the passage of time. So I don't know. We want to I don't know.
Oh, that is an interesting idea because
it is,
I do think of the split screen moment as a totally like 70s thing, really. Like the bit where they're showing you everything that's happening at once kind of thing.
I love how they did it in Cowboy Bebop, more the anime than the live action, but they also did it in the live action. It's a really fun way to keep everyone involved, like as an RPG tactic, a tabletop thing. It was fun. I think it was one of my biggest highlights of today's session. And there's some really good moments here. So good. I will let y'all go. We are at the end of our time. Thank you all for playing. We'll miss you, but we will carry on and see what happens with all of the craziness that is about to build to a conclusion of some kind. So
Shoot
all.
her in a warehouse, right? Like
Uh,
that's how all 70s movies end.
that's true. All right. Talk to you guys later.